good afternoon. My name is Donna Fiesel, and I'm your host of The Edge on IC Radio, your source for news and entertainment. You can find us on television, channel 182, on Charter Communications and Abundance Television, which is found on Roku, Apple TV, and Amazon Fire. Every day, I love to give you my email address. That's donna@donnasedge.com. And the reason I do that is because you guys send me really good topics for shows, and I definitely appreciate that. This one came from Jill, and this one is about the website, by the way, is choosingtherapy.com, choosingtherapy.com. And it signs you're dealing with a narcissist. Do you know what a narcissist is? I think everybody has some in their family. When you start reading the complexity of a personality and the way they act, the way they react, the way maybe they don't react to situations. So let's go ahead and talk about this. This is going to help you deal with a narcissist if you have one that's in your family or maybe a co-worker, that kind of thing. So narcissistic personality disorder is called NPD, is a complex mental health condition marked by arrogance, excessive need for attention. These systems exist on a spectrum of inhibiting differently depending on the type of narcissism. So apparently I didn't realize this, but there are different types of narcissism. However, you'll notice consistent behaviors and attitudes when dealing with a narcissist. So here are the signs of a narcissist. And this may include an attempt to isolate you. They want you only to their self. Everybody has to have some breathing space, right? All married couples want to be together. Parents with their kids all want to be together, but there is a point where it's not healthy. Challenging your reality or gaslighting you. We're going to talk about what gaslighting means. I didn't know that. Blaming you for everything that goes wrong. Monitoring your friends or your whereabouts. Where were you at? That kind of thing. Projecting their imperfections onto you. Discounting your opinions and whatever your needs might be. Arrogant or haughty attitude. Taking advantage of you or others for personal gain. Believing they're unique and special, exaggerating their own achievements, jealousy of you and others, and lacking empathy. When I worked in the corporate world, I remember we went for it was a kind of a training like session, and I've always been the type who just felt sorry for everybody. Sympathy for everybody, the whole works. And so I was talking with one of the instructors, and she said, you know what? You need to learn to empathize more than sympathizing. I said, what do you mean by that? And she said, empathizing means you care for that person and you're listening, but you're not letting it take over your mind. And it could be a friend, you feel sorry for your friends who are going through a hard time. I'm kind of like this about that, because when I care for somebody, I really, really do care. And so, but I understand you can't let someone else's emotions take hold of you. And that's what a narcissist does. They know that you're a very caring person, and they're going to use that to their ability and to get what they want. So let's dig in just a little bit. Okay, so let's talk about narcissism and relationships. And this is an important part of this game right here. So of the 0 to 6.2% diagnosed with narcissistic personality disorder, 50 to 75% are men. I've found a lot of women who are that way. While this personality disorder is rare, encountering a person with NPD can be upsetting and problematic. For example, narcissists will make everything about them. They pretend to be interested in others only for their benefit. Narcissists are charismatic. You won't believe they are. You'll be fooled by them. They are charismatic in their relationships, often utilizing manipulation tactics and love bombing to lure partners in. They typically act loving after meeting someone to secure the relationship, but narcissists cannot sustain this behavior for long. They will show their true colors. Narcissists eventually show their true colors by continuously exploiting and controlling their partners. I have a friend who was married to a narcissist. This was her first husband, and none of us knew this. They were very wealthy, but we found out he wouldn't let her leave the house. He would actually board it up, the windows from the inside, so she couldn't get out, and had a key somehow. So I don't know how he did it. None of us knew this. And she would always act Like she was over talkative when she would come around us. And we just kind of thought, something's not right at home. There's something wrong with this picture. It was almost like she was a free bird. She was able to talk. Come to find out, we found out what he was doing to her. Okay, so let's have 14 tips for how to deal with a narcissist. So let's go ahead and dig right in, because I need to make this a 30-minute show, and there's lots of information here. So dealing with a narcissist, whether they're a family member, a friend, everybody's had a boss who's one, takes a toll on your self-esteem and can leave you broken and dismayed. Relationships with a narcissist are a never-ending cycle of manipulations that actually worsen over time. While getting along with a narcissist may seem impossible, you can protect yourself by remaining calm, seeking support, and separating yourself whenever possible. So the number one tip for dealing with a narcissist so that you can keep your sanity is to educate yourself about narcissism. So let's talk just for a minute about that. Narcissism manifests in various ways, but there are two common types of narcissists to be aware of. There is the grandiose and the vulnerable. We know that. So grandiose narcissist is highly confident. They're attention-seeking and self-assured. The best way to deal with this type narcissist is to get them on your team and give them a key role. So if you're working for someone who's a narcissist, that might be a good way to deal with them. On the other hand, there's the vulnerable narcissist. They're passive-aggressive. They have low self-esteem. They provide reassurance to vulnerable narcissists to keep them on task and their emotions in check. You can better protect yourself from their manipulation if you recognize the difference between the two narcissists and continue to educate yourself about their behavior. Now, if you'll go to this website, you'll be able to dig in just a little bit more about the differences of these two particular narcissists. The website is choosingtherapy.com, CHOOSING, therapy, THERAPY.com. Number two is set and maintain firm boundaries. Make sure you do that. And the way you do that, people with narcissistic personality disorder they have a habit of crossing over the boundary. You set one for them, they're going to cross over it anyway. They don't think like we do. They have no problem bending. They have no problem breaking rules because rules just simply don't apply to them. However, they hold their own boundaries near and dear. If they tell you not to cross the boundary, you'd better not do it. When involved with these individuals, make sure you set boundaries, and you need to make sure you maintain those. State what you will and will not accept, and don't falter. Any crack in your foundation, just like a tiny little kid, is an invitation to violate and push your boundaries. You've got to stand up for yourself. You've got to restate your boundary. I draw the line right here. Don't cross it. Acknowledge their unacceptable behaviors, and you push back against those behaviors. Number three, respond instead of reacting. So it's tempting to reach into the narcissist's manipulative tactics with shock, disbelief, anger, and even pain. However, these reactions fuel the narcissist and their supply, and makes them interacting with narcissists, it makes it a lot more challenging when you're having to deal with them. So when dealing with a narcissist, focus on present issues and avoid giving into their deflection or projection. Bring attention back to the problem. Bringing it back to the problem prevents the narcissist from monopolizing the conversation or changing the subject. Be intentional and to the point. Be mindful of your words and learn phrases to disarm a narcissist when they try to engage. Now, if we have time, I'm going to go back into that link and we're going to talk about that. Number four, watch for gaslighting behaviors. I had no clue what that meant. I had a friend who told me the person that I knew was a narcissist, and I said, how do you know? And she said, she gaslights you. And I was like, gaslights me? So I looked it up, and this is a pretty good description right here. Narcissists gaslight victims to distort their reality and make them question their memory. Like you saw somebody do something, you know you did, and then you call them on it and they say, you didn't see that, and make you look as if you've lost your mind. This form of narcissistic abuse may be unnoticeable intentionally, but it can lead to long-lasting consequences. So a narcissist may say that you're paranoid. They may say you're overreacting or incorrectly remembering things. No, that's not the way that happened, when you know darn well it did. Stick to your grounds, okay? So regardless, remember that your feelings are always valid. And it can be easy to justify this gaslighting by excuses for their behavior, but don't do that. But recognizing the signs of manipulation can help you better deal with a narcissist when necessary. So I have a family member who's a narcissist. I have a couple, actually. And so I don't let her gaslight me. And what she'll do is make excuses for her behavior. But let me tell you this. This is something that I've realized. If you're born into a family where the parents just constantly fuss and fight all the time, it's just over and over and over again. When I grew up with one of those families, you can choose to be like them when you have your own family, or you can choose to be total opposite. It does not mean that you think you're better than anybody. It does not mean that at all. You want a better life. You want your kids to have a better life, and you want your spouse to have a better life, or your partner to have a better life. Number 5, demand action over promises. Narcissists are great at planning for the future, but rarely keep their promises. The best way to hold a narcissist accountable is to confront the deception head on. When confronting a narcissist, remind them of their commitment and that others rely on this promise. Not playing into their ego. Do not fulfill any request until the narcissist fulfills their responsibility. You got to keep on about that, okay? They act like they come across as a bully, and they come across as this person who's they're gonna give you what for. But I promise you, gently step up to the plate and tell them that's not what you said, and look them straight in the eyes. Don't look away. You keep looking at them. They'll back down. I've had a couple of them do that. Okay, let's go to a commercial break. See, I get all excited talking to you and I forget what time it is. Let's go into a commercial break and we shall return in just a few minutes.
You have been at this for 12 years. Why are you doing it?
Because God's children are not for sale.
Rated PG-13.
At Lamone's Mexican Restaurant, located in Henniger, Alabama, and voted Best Mexican Restaurant of DeKalb County, Alabama 2020, we're here to serve you with authentic Mexican cuisine. Order easily online by going to lamonsmex.com or call 256-657-3999 to place your order. We're open Sunday through Thursday, 11 a.m. to 9 p.m. and Friday and Saturday, 11 a.m. to 10 p.m. Whether you're celebrating a cozy date night for two or a celebration for a crowd, at Lamone's you'll love our atmosphere and friendly servers. Thank you for dining with Lamone's Mexican Restaurant. Let Rhonda at Rhonda's Elite Tax LLC take the burden off you for all your tax needs. I know because Rhonda has been taking care of my business since 2013. I feel Rhonda works for me because she knows the direct questions to ask to better benefit my unique business in order for me to get back the biggest refund possible. Rhonda is an ongoing student, and she knows tax laws are in a constant change every year. Call 256-281-9903 for an appointment to take the dread out of getting your taxes done. Rhonda is located at 11968 U.S. Highway 431 in Boaz. Again, that number is 256-281-9903. And let Rhonda's Elite Tax LLC champion your personal and business taxes. Jeff McCurdy of the McCurdy Law Firm has been a public service of this area for over 10 years. McCurdy, a member of the Henniger City Council, serves as prosecutor for the town of Sylvania and was named public defender for the city of Rainsville. The McCurdy Law Firm is located at 17326 Alabama Highway 75 in Henniger to better represent his Jackson and DeKalb County clients. If you need to be represented by a true public servant with proven success, call Jeff at 256-996-8701 or send a private email to mccurdylawfirm@gmail.com. No representation is made that the legal services performed is greater than the legal services performed by other lawyers. At Liberty Bank, we're all about community, whether it's to help with a charity fundraiser or help families in need. Toys at Christmas or a local football team, we're here for you. You see, we realize the importance of family. Sometimes it's to build a new home or necessary home repairs. We're here for you. If you like the feel of a small town bank with all the conveniences of a big city bank, we're here to serve you. You will find us at any of our convenient locations in DeKalb, Marshall, Etowah, and Blount counties in North Alabama. You can call and speak with any of our friendly staff at 256-659-2175 or check us out on the web at libertybankal.com. And thank you for your support of our community. Member FDIC Equal Housing Lender. The Hatter Cafe and Country Inn is nestled in the northeast corner of Alabama the Beautiful in the delightful town of Mentone. We're located on top of scenic Lookout Mountain near Little River and DeSoto State Park and located only 5 minutes from shopping and restaurants. There is also a nearby community walking path and golf course. We welcome everyone through the doors and we are committed to outstanding service for all guests. At the Hatter Cafe and Country Inn, we invite people from all walks of life to come and get away from it all, enjoy the open spaces, treetop views, fresh, clean air, and experience Southern hospitality at its finest. We look forward to hosting you. To reserve a special event, or if you would love a special getaway at the Country Inn, you can call us at 256-634-2018. Good afternoon. My name is Donna, and I am your host of The Edge on IC Radio, your source for news and entertainment. You can find us on television, channel 182 on Charter Communications and Abundance Television, which is found on Roku, Apple TV, and Amazon Fire. We're talking about narcissists and some of the ways you can figure them out, at least know how to combat them. You can't figure out a narcissist. I've tried. You can't do it. But there are ways that you can, if it's a family member and somebody you got to be around all the time, there are ways you can combat it. So let's talk more about this. The very first one we talked about was just simply educating yourself about what narcissism is. Number 2, set and maintain firm boundaries. Don't let them cross that boundary. Number 3, respond instead of reacting. Don't react. That's what they want you to do. They want you to sit there and cry. They want you to do that. Don't do it. Just respond and say, no, I didn't say that. Number 4, watch for gaslighting behaviors. This is where they tell you that you imagined something. You didn't imagine it. You know it happened. You stick to your guns, okay? Number 5, demand action over promises. Again, they'll plan something, and then just so they can break your heart, they're not going to go through with whatever it is they plan. They're going to take you to Disneyland, or they're going to do this, or they're going to do that. They never keep it. Okay, number 6, this is a good one. This is probably the most important one right here, and that's keeping, as far as I'm concerned, keep the conversation brief. And I'll tell you why they say this. Narcissists are very good at dominating and controlling conversations. This form of manipulation gives them leverage as it leaves little room to get your point across or to share your opinions. Keeping discussions brief and focused and redirect the conversation when the narcissist strays, and they will do that. If the conversation remains one-sided, it's all about them. You're in an argument about something, don't argue back with them. That's what they want you to do. So it becomes all about them. They're crying, they're carrying on, they're doing whatever they do to manipulate them. And it's all just for their side. End it and move on. In the end, it's important to recognize that most situations with a narcissist do remain unresolved. They just will. Nothing you can do about it. Number 7, if you have to be around them, act interested. It feeds their ego. And that's what they're looking for. They want that ego fed. Okay, let's say you're dealing with a narcissistic boss. Okay, or an authority figure. Sometimes it's best to pretend you're fascinated by what they say. You do not have to agree or disagree. You can respond with, that sounds interesting. Sounds interesting. Don't say I agree with you, because you're going to find yourself winding up in their world again when you just got sucked out of it. You must suck your own self out of it. Don't let them suck you back in. Tell me more about that. How do you plan to implement that? And I always smile. It drives them nuts. Always smile. If it's a narcissistic coworker, you can tell them that you're extremely busy, or say, I would love to talk, but I must get this done by the end of the day, and smile at them. Do not act intimidated, okay? That feeds their ego as well. Number 8, remind yourself that you're not at fault. This is a big one too. A narcissist may blame you for anything that inhibits them from getting their way. Remember that your boundaries are important, including establishing where your responsibilities start and end. When they try to push accountability onto you, do not accept it or give in to their manipulation. Okay, now here's a couple of scenarios. Are you dating or married to a narcissist? I'm tickled to death to tell you, I'm not married to a narcissist. I've got the best husband alive. Philip is a wonderful, wonderful guy. Is he perfect? No, but I'm not either. But he's a wonderful guy. We are as one. Now, whether you're trying to move on or build a relationship, the licensed therapist can guide you. There's a link. Look up BetterHelp. They have over 20,000 licensed therapists who can provide convenient and affordable online therapy. So you can check them out. Now, is your mother, father, or family member a narcissist? Being raised by a narcissist can damage your confidence and self-esteem. A therapist from online therapy can also help you both heal from the past and manage the relationship to be less harmful. Counseling starts at $50 a week. They'll let you try online therapy as well. So remember, it's online-therapy. Online-therapy. Okay, number 9, focus on your own needs. Before you know, you'll think you don't have any needs. Narcissists thrive on attention. No matter how much you give, it'll never be enough, ever. However, you can break the spell by focusing on your needs, goals, and desires. Remember that their perception does not define you. Take note of your strengths. Use self-affirmations. Pray to God a whole lot. You'll need to do that to boost your confidence and ensure you have time for self-care. You got to take good care of yourself. Here's what Phil tells me. When I've had a situation with a narcissist, there's a couple in my family. So when I've had to spend some time or hear that they've done something, Phil will look at me and he'll say, Donna time. And he knows what Donna time is. Donna time means that I either go out to my greenhouse and I start working, or I go out in the garden and start working, or I take one of those Calgon take me away baths. I may do a facial. So Phil always can detect it when I can't. And he'll say, it's Donna time. Do some Donna time. You need to know your partner, if it's a family member or somebody you work with or whatever. You need somebody in your life who can recognize that. Not necessarily to sit there and listen to the whole drawn-out story, because I've probably already heard it 1,000 times. But to know when it's Donna time, or to know when it's Susie time, to know when it's whatever time. You need somebody like that. Number 10, create a healthy support system. All humans need connection and community. Isolation is a risk factor for depression. You've got to be careful you don't go through depression. They'll have you want to kill yourself. And lack of support can keep you from leaving a toxic relationship. Narcissists are also better able to control you when you're isolated. So prioritize your relationships for those who support you and make you feel safe. Number 11, build your self-esteem. Narcissists feed off of those who have low self-esteem. When dealing with a narcissist, building a healthy self-knowledge, image, and self-help protects you from being manipulated. Additionally, a stable sense of self allows you to develop and adopt coping mechanisms to advocate for yourself in the face of narcissism. Number 12, practice skills to remain calm and grounded. Using calming skills can feel overwhelming or challenging at the moment, but the more you practice, the easier it becomes. Remaining grounded during a crisis or stressful situation strengthens your body's stress responses. Handling a narcissist is best done when you implement approachable and practical tools to manage stress. If you're dealing with a narcissist and your heart is beating at a very rapid rate, you need to walk away. I mean it. Number 13, recognize when you need help. Because narcissistic abuse can be subtle, identifying when it occurs may be challenging. It can be easy to fall into a cycle of narcissistic abuse and feel trapped without a way out. Signs that you need to seek professional help vary from relationship to relationship. It depends on who it is, too. However, therapy is beneficial if you're experiencing self-doubt or questioning your worth. Recovery can be a long process, and choosing a therapist can take time, but healing is worth the effort. Number 14, recognize that the narcissist needs help too, okay? Dealing with a narcissist is frustrating and it's very upsetting, but underneath their facade of arrogance is a person with low self-esteem and deep-rooted insecurities. But remember, it's not your fault. Being abused is never your fault, but the narcissist is likely living with their own unresolved trauma. The best way to help a narcissist is to encourage them to seek therapy. Narcissists are notorious for avoiding treatment, but may be open to it if they suffer from symptoms of depression or other mental health conditions. Treating narcissism is not easy, but a trained therapist can help someone stop being a narcissist. Okay, when do I need to leave a narcissist relationship? They're skilled manipulators and masters of deception. Okay, so here are some signs you need to get out of it. When you're in a romantic relationship with a narcissist, they may leave you constantly feeling like you're not good enough and gaslight you into staying. If you have a narcissistic mother or mother-in-law, she may compete with you, compare herself to you, or constantly present herself as a victim. If you are dealing with a narcissistic boss, they may act entitled and never give you any positive feedback, but they expect it from you. If you know a communal narcissist, they may think they're generous or insightful, despite ensuring that they remain the center of attention. I care about you, and I care about your well-being. I care about your health. So if you're dealing with a narcissistic type person, you need to get some help. There are a lot of real good videos out there that you can use, but start by going to this particular website right here. It's a good one. Again, it's choosingtherapy.com. And I'm going to put this in the title of the show so you can see it. It's called choosingtherapy.com. What not to do when dealing with a narcissist. I love you bunches.